The Department of Education yesterday has laid off nearly half of their workforce. Oh, this is what I've been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, the only way to really save this country is not to do it financially. The only way to save this country is not to do it exclusively through DOJ. The only way to save this country is not exclusively through the ballot box. Truly, the only way to save this country is to educate the American electorate. And the way you do that is to get a hold of the nation's young people and try to undo, or at least reset the discussion for the next generation so that they're not quite the Marxist little stooges that a generation or two have been brought up through in public school. And I got a post today on X that said, I find it strange. He was responding to Senator Slotkin there, who said, we're teenagers having a tantrum because Donald Trump won. 77 million of us voted for him, and that's us throwing a tantrum. We're just dumb, emotionally ignorant teenagers. Incidentally, have you noticed, I won't lose my place, have you noticed that Democrats continue to malign young people when they're actually truthful? It reminds me of what Cacklebritches once said, our former vice president, Madame Doritos. Boy, by the way, you want to talk about a bullet dodged. I didn't even play that yesterday. I don't know if I have. Let me see if I've got that. I think I have this from yesterday. Yes, 9:50 from yesterday, if you would, Paulie. I don't know if you can pull that up or not. But one of the dumber people on planet Earth is our... Okay, we don't. But anyway, suffice it to say, if you waste your time to go online to find it, it's her opining on Doritos. And boy, you learn bullet dodged when you watch it. Bullet dodged. Anyway, she also was once saying to a group of people that college-age people, I believe it was teenagers, are just dumb. They're just stupid. Similarly, Senator Slotkin said teenagers are, we are in the teenage years of our country's founding, and just like teenagers, we're emotional idiots who need to be reined in, she said, of the voters. They don't like young people, interestingly. It's so funny to me that all the years that I've been paying attention to politics, Democrats were considered the party of young people, the youth. You know, the pushback generation, the fight the man generation. That was always supposed to be the Democrats. They actually really hate young people. They hate optimism. They hate idealism. They want command and control, top-down uniformity, straitjacket thinking, little brown shirt stuff. They were never the hippie movement, or if they were, they're sure not now. They're big pharma and big bank and command and control government. And to the poster's point, what I find strange is there are people in this country that still support such a political party. The people need to be educated correctly on how our government should work. You're exactly right, poster. The people need to be educated correctly on how our government should work. Are they being educated properly on how our government should work? Of course they're not. Which brings me back to this very important story. The Department of Education announcing yesterday it is firing nearly half its workforce. Trump sent out a note yesterday and he said, hey, we are boarding up the Department of Education buildings, all of you people that work there. Effective 6 o'clock tonight, vacate the premises, take your laptops and any personal effects. We're closing her down on Wednesday. So as I understand it, in D.C. today, there are no Department of Education buildings open to anybody today, including people employed there. They have shut it down, which means Elon's going to roll through there undoubtedly, and they're going to start getting busy. The Education Department started President Trump's second term with more than 4,000 employees. But even before Tuesday, hundreds had already been put on leave or had taken a buyout offer. After this reduction, there will be just a little over 2,000 employees left with the department. Trump has repeatedly called to shutter it completely. Senior officials said the reduction in employees will not impact student aid, free application for student aid forms, formula funding for states, blah, blah, blah. The department focused this layoff on teams that were reductive or unnecessary, they said. And here again, just like the NOAA cuts, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or the FAA, these cuts, it's bloat. It's obscene bloat. And while we're at it, I guess I'll just have to do this too, because I got the emails. I started getting them again yesterday. Folks, I am not looking to pick fights. I'm really not. I got an email from a guy named Seth who said, it makes me sad to write this email, Fast Eddie. And I know you've received hundreds of emails just like this, yet I still feel compelled to write. I've been listening to you for years, but I've had to stop listening to you because of your take on federal employees. Simply put, your take is incorrect. I am a federal employee and couldn't disagree more with your low opinion of us. I take that personally. The vast majority of us are diligent, highly competent, and knowledgeable employees who are very good at our jobs. Seth, if you've listened to me for a very long time, then I should think you've been listening carefully enough to know I did not speak broadly about every single federal employee, just like I don't speak broadly about every single public school teacher. But Fast Eddie, as a collective, is it even arguable that the American public knows full well we are not getting for our taxpayer dollars what we should be getting out of government? In fact, the government that we are getting is heavy-handed and abusive and bloated and not producing and providing much for us. Now, if you take that personally as an individual federal worker, Fast Eddie, what can I do about that? I mean, I'm not picking on you if you listen to the show and you work for the federal government, but you got to understand, man, you've got a job with the federal government. Your employer's not popular. Sorry. And your employer, by the way, is us, incidentally. We're the taxpayers that pay your salary. People are getting uncomfortable with this, Fast Eddie. They don't like this attention. You see? And so I'm the bad guy for bringing it up.
I don't see how. I take personalizing this after what we've seen from the federal government and the employees. I mean, Chris, I just go into my we can get personal here. I go into my local library and I see people playing games and scrolling Facebook and doing whatever, and it's just like, yo, your paycheck is coming from me, right? So no, I can expand on it a lot past the local library, but come on.
Disrespecting our performance or the importance of our duties is not helpful and makes you appear uninformed, says Seth, who's apparently been a listener of mine for a long time. Okay. I'm uninformed, and everybody that works for the federal government is pure as the wind-driven snow. Seth, if you and I were standing on a stage of several thousand Americans and we just took a voice vote or a show of hands, you would be the loser.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.